Oh, shoot. Hey, okay, students, welcome to our third lesson in the second unit. This is 2.3 angles formed by a transversal. Our objective for today is students will be able to identify alternate interior, alternate exterior corresponding and same side interior angles. Okay, let's take a look. First, we got to know what is this word even mean, a transversal, right? It sounds like Transylvania, like where Dracula's from, but we're not going to be talking about Dracula. We're going to be talking about angles. A transversal line, that's this guy right here. You see this? That is our transversal. Let's make it nice and clear. It's this guy right here, okay? Now, a transversal is a line that intersects at least two other lines, which would be these guys. Now, when you have a transversal that intersects two lines, what's created is two sections, okay? Two different areas, which we'll call this area in the middle, okay? I'll make it all nice and pretty in yellow. Look how pretty that is. And then you're going to have this other area on the outside. Look at that pretty blue. Okay, these are our two sections. On the middle part, this is the interior, which is exactly like you know what interior means, like the inside. This is the inside of the two lines, okay? Like the interior of a car. You're on the inside of the car. On the outside of these two lines is the exterior, okay? So when you have a transversal that goes through two lines or more, there's an interior and exterior areas. That's it. Wrap your head around it for a second. Now, you could also have it look in a variety of ways. So let's take another look at it. Which is our interior, what's our exterior, what's our transversal? Okay, these are the questions we got to ask ourselves. Well, our transversal is the line that goes through two other lines. All right, so our transversal would be this guy right here, right? This is our transversal because it goes through the two other lines. So let's label that our transversal. And it's not even pointing to it. What is right there? Okay. We then have the two areas, okay? We have our exterior and interior, okay? So our exterior would be on the outside, and that's over here, right? This is the outside the two lines, all right? And then we have our interior area, right? And that's in the middle of our two lines, all right? So we'll just label that. Here's our exterior, and this is our interior. All right in the middle of our two lines. All right, if you got that, you're doing great. Okay, let's continue our discussion. So when you have a transversal that goes through two lines, there are different angle pairs that are created. Now the first one we're going to talk about are alternate interior angles. Now it has a name for a reason. Check it out. Alternate interior angles are pairs of angles that are on the interior, right? They're alternate interior angles, and on opposite sides of the transversal, okay? And that word is kind of conveyed in alternate, which also means opposite. So this is like opposite interior angles. Now why does it have that name? Let's discuss. Well, let's find our transversal. Our transversal is the line that goes through at least two other lines. So this is our transversal going through two lines. And if you look, we have our interior section, which is right here. And angles are formed now. Now we have angles 1 and 2 in this case. Now if you look at these, they are angles 1 and 2 are on the interior of our two lines, and they are on opposite sides of the transversal. So we would say that angles 1 and angles 2, 1 and 2 are alternate interior angles. Opposite sides of the transversal and on the interior of the two lines. Alright, so let's do some practice on this. We want to find what pairs are alternate interior angles in these two figures. Now in this one we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are all angles. Well, if we're talking about alternate interior angles, let's first identify the transversal, which is going through right here. And then let's identify the interior. Good. Alright, now what are we going to do? First, let's find alternate interior angles, okay? So on the interior we have all these angles. Now, if we have angle 3, we want to find one that's alternate interior with this. Now, is 5 going to be the alternate interior angle? No, because it's on the same side. It has to be on the opposite side. So the other one would be angle 6. All right. because you need an angle from both lines. I couldn't say 4 because that would be a linear pair. That's what that's called. These are alternate interior angles, one on each line, the top line and one on the bottom line, and they're on the opposite sides of the transversal. Another example that we could use is angles 4, right, because it's on the interior, and angle 5. These two angles are on the interior and on opposite sides. So angles 4 and angles 5, and angle 5 are alternate interior angles. Let's take a look at this example. Now let's first identify our transversal again. We have our transversal right here, which goes through the middle, and we have our interior, which would be over, right? This is between the two lines. So we have our transversal, and we have our area in the middle. Now, let's take a look. Which ones are alternate interior angles? Well, let's see. We have 2 and 7, right? These are both on the inside, and they're on alternate sides of the transversal. So angle 2 and angle 7 are alternate interior angles. And then you also have angles 3 and angle 6, right? They're on the interior, and they're on opposite sides of the transversal. Angle 3 and angle 6. So that's that for alternate interior angles. Let's talk about alternate exterior angles. Now I'm hoping you can just guess right now what I'm about to say, but let's see. Alternate exterior angles are a pair of angles that are on the, what do you think? Right, exterior. All right, they're on the exterior and on opposite sides again of the transversal. How do we know opposite sides? That word alternate. That means opposite. All right. And if you look at a perfect example of that, you got 1 and 2. They're both on the exterior, right? The exterior is the outside, which is up here. All right, this is our exterior area now. And they're on opposite sides of the transversal, which runs through the middle over here. Okay? Beautiful. So our angles 1 and 2 in this case, 1 and 2 are alternate exterior angles. So let's try to identify alternate exterior angles now. So once again, let's start by drawing our transversal, which is right here, right? This is the one that goes through two lines. And let's find the exterior area, which is right up here and over here, right? This is on the outside. Oop. There we go. And let me just erase this area because I don't want you to get confused. It's not in the middle. All right. So which ones are alternate exterior angles? Well, 1 and 8, angle 1 and angle 8, they certainly qualify because they are on the outside, right? They're on the exterior, and they're on opposite sides of the transversal. One's on the right side, one's on the left side. Also, angles 2 and angle 7 would be alternate exterior angles. Angles 2 and angle 7, because if you look, once again, they're on opposite sides of the transversal and on the exterior angle. Now let's try this funny looking figure. Once again, let's identify the transversal, which is right here, and the exterior, which would be out here and out here. And we want to find alternate exterior angles. Well, let's look here. Angle IKL, all right, so angle IKL, and this angle, angle MNP, angle MNP, are considered alternate exterior angles, right? They're on opposite sides and they're both on the exterior. Another example we could have is this guy, all right? Angle IKL, which is right here, IKL, angle IKL, and try to figure this out before I say it, angle PNO, angle PNO. Once again, these two angles are on the exterior and they're on opposite sides of the transversal. All right, we're crushing it so far. All right, same side interior angles. I hope from the name you can guess this one, but let's try it. Same side interior angles are pairs of angles that are on the interior, all right, and on the same sides of the transversal. All right, so just to quickly go over this, if you look at this, here's our transversal. Here's the interior. Let's do it in another color, in fact. All right, here's our interior, right? And if you look at 1 and 2, sure enough, angle angle 1 and angle 2, angle 1 and angle 2 are both on the same side of the transversal and on the interior. So they're same side interior angles. Are same side interior angles. Now let's try to identify those. Let's keep doing what we've been doing. First, find the transversal. This is the line that goes through the two others. And then find the interior, okay? And that would be right over here. Now we just have to find two angles that are on the same side and on the interior. So let's see. We got angle 3 and angle 5. So angle 3 and angle 5 would be same side interior. And also angle 4 and angle 6. Angle 4 and angle 6. If you look, once again, same side of the transversal, all right, and on the interior. Done. Let's try this guy. Same side interior. We got this angle, all right, angle JKN, and also MNK, right? This angle and this angle are on the same side and on the interior, and angle MNK. Also what we have, let's do this one in blue, we have this angle, LKN, so angle LKN, and angle ONK are on the same side and on the interior, so angle ONK. And sorry, I didn't highlight, so this is the interior. And if you notice, these two are on the interior and these two are on the interior and on the same side of the transversal. Last one, corresponding angles. This is usually the most difficult one for people to identify, so pay attention carefully. Corresponding angles are pairs of angles that are in the same position. Okay? Position. Yes, I could spell position. And that SP tells you same position. What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is, look, so pay attention. We got lines L and line M, okay? If you look at angle 1, all right, and you just look at this top half, I want you to ignore this bottom. Ignore these bottom 5, 6, 7, 8. Pretend they're not even there. So angle 1 is on the top left-hand side, okay? Angle 5 is also on the top left-hand side. So these would be corresponding angles. So angles 1 and angle 5. Can we find more of these? Sure. If you look at 2, 2 is on the top right-hand side of line L, and 6 is on the top right-hand side of line M. So those would be corresponding, okay? 2 and 6. Let's keep going. There's more of these. You have 3, angle 3. It's on the lower left-hand side on line L, and line 7 is also on the lower left-hand side of line L. So we would say 3 and 7. And then finally, we have 4, which is on the lower right, and 8, which is on the lower right. So we would say 4 and 8. All right, which pairs of angles are corresponding? Well, let's just do 2 for each one of these, but there's 4 for every example. You have 1 top left-hand side and 5 top left-hand side, right? So, since those are in the same position, you could say angle 1 and angle 5 are in the same corresponding angles. Also, let's try 2 and 6, right? 2 is in the top right-hand side, and 6 is on the top right-hand side. So 2 and 6. All right? Now let's take a look. There's 2 more. You find those on your own. And let's take a look at this one. All right? So once again, let's identify our transversal. That's going to be our starting place, okay? Now let's look. This is our transversal. These are our 2 lines. So angle 1, all right, that's on the top left side, and angle 3, it's on the top left-hand side. So those are our corresponding angles. So angle 1 and angle 3. We also have angles 5 and angle 7, right? This is on the bottom left-hand side. So angle 5 and angle 7. And you fill out the last two. It's probably going to be these and these. You got this. You're great. You're all superstars. Take it home and remember to do your chores that your parents ask you to do because they work hard and they love you, but they just want a little support. And also don't eat fairies because, you know, they're rare. All right, bye.